After being conspired against and killed, I finally realized Shun hated me to the bone, even though I had funded her for years, pouring money and resources, giving her the best living conditions. She always believed that I used money and power to force her apart from her first love. Opening my eyes again, Shun threw my bank card on the ground, her gaze cold and haughty. This time, I just spoken differently. In that case, the funding ends here. 1. The bank card landed precisely at my feet. Why are you here again? The girl's tone was full of annoyance. Following the voice, my gaze settled on Shin Qian across from me. Her face was fair and delicate, yet it carried an undisguised chill. Seeing me silent, Shinchi's friends grew even more brazen, teasing loudly. Chan young Master Zhang is so devoted to you. Just give him a chance. I heard he gives Shernan a 6F-figure monthly allowance. What a nouveau riche. But Shinian is beautiful, gets good grades, and has plenty of suitors. Money alone isn't enough. Exactly. And besides, Shuren doesn't care about such material things. In the crowd, Shani raised her chin proudly. Zhang Yan, can you take back your presumptuous charity? I'm busy and have no time to deal with you. Young master. Moreover, I have my own hands and feet. I don't need to rely on anyone. The girl before me looked stubborn, speaking the exact same lines as in my memory. Only now did I finally believe that I had been reborn too in my past life. I not only funded Shin Qian through university, but also sent her abroad for further studies, helping her realize her dream of pursuing scientific research. Even though she always remained distant and cold toward me, I simply thought she had too much pride and a stubborn nature. It wasn't until she returned to the country after achieving fame and success that she took advantage of my drunken state and tricked me into signing a fraudulent contract, causing my vast family fortune to vanish in an instant. Not long after I went bankrupt, I was involved in a car accident before I passed away. She leaned close to my ear and said with resentment, Zhang Yan, I heard from the doctor that you won't make it through today. It's no wonder arranged for someone to tamper with your brakes. Don't blame me for being cruel. If you hadn't threatened my future back then, and I wouldn't have missed out on so many years together. Besides money, what else can you offer me? Only can give me true love. You can go in peace, without you, and I will surely live a very happy life. Watching her gaze grow increasingly cold, my breathing began to spiral out of control. Just before my consciousness completely faded, I vaguely saw Shin Qian smiling coyly, nestled in Shirao's embrace, her eyes filled with a tenderness I had never seen before. With a heart full of resentment and hatred, I slowly closed my eyes. 3. My thoughts returned to the present. I lowered my gaze and bent down to pick up that bank card. Zhang Yan, you should stop pestering Shin Qian. A clear male voice suddenly reached my ears. No matter how much money you offer, she might not even look at you. I looked at the male university student beside Shin Qian. He stood tall and straight, a provocative smile still hanging at the corner of his lips. He was Shirao by Shinqian's university classmate. The two of them often went to the library together to study. I had reminded Shinqian many times to be mindful of boundaries, but she mocked me for being narrow-minded and having impure thoughts in my previous life. After I sent Shin Qian abroad, I thought they had completely severed contact. Only now did I realize they had probably remained connected all along. But I clearly never forcibly separated them either. If in my previous life she had been willing to speak up directly, I, Zhang Yan, would never have willingly worn the cuckold horns. Shuren in front of me sneered coldly. Did you hear that? Don't waste your effort. I will never accept your money. I let out a cold laugh. The next moment, under the astonished gazes of everyone, I swiftly snapped the bank card in my hand and stuffed it into the trash bin beside me. Turning around, the people around all opened their mouths in unison. I gazed indifferently at Shin Qian. There was 200,000 in that card, originally intended for you to participate in that overseas exchange program. Since you're so high and mighty, let's just forget about the money. I'd rather throw it away than give it to you, for Shannon froze for a few seconds. Her face flushed with embarrassment before barely managing to keep her composure. What trick are you trying to pull now? I never forced you to do anything for me. That was all your own wishful thinking. And what I hate most is this new VO attitude of yours, thinking you can boss my life around just because you have a bit of money. It's so annoying. Her close friends gradually came to their senses and chimed in one after another. That's right. Xian hates rich second-generation heirs who reek of money the most. Having money alone isn't enough. Zhang Yan, you should go back and study more. Or else, how will you have any common topics to discuss with Shun? Shun is beautiful and outstanding. I heard she plans to pursue further studies at a prestigious overseas university someday. Who knows? Maybe one day you really won't be good enough for her. Watching Shen, standing at the center of the crowd, her expression growing increasingly haughty, I suddenly recalled the scene of our first meeting back then. She was sallow and emaciated, wearing a crumpled shirt, looking embarrassed, and at a loss. She came from a single-parent family, and her mother was seriously ill. Originally, she was going to drop out of school to work and earn money for medical expenses. At that critical moment, she heard that the Zhang family would sponsor outstanding students from financially struggling families. So she took the initiative to approach our family. Back then, she stood with a stubbornly straight spine, vowing to repay the Zhang family's great kindness tenfold in the future. Shini was good-looking, and that demeanor with slightly reddened eyes not only successfully won my parents' sympathy, but also sparked a bit of fondness in me. In just a few years, she transformed from that malnourished, impoverished student into a little princess draped in luxury goods. Not only that, she also became increasingly aloof and arrogant, looking down on everyone, and frequently spoke disrespectfully to me. Thinking of the outcome from my past life, my gaze suddenly turned cold. Since you look down on it so much, let's terminate the financial support from now on. Besides, the Zhang family has long since done more than enough for you. 5. Before Xin Qian could speak, her best friend jumped in first. Hey, you're a grown man. You're not holding a grudge just because we said a few extra words, are you? In the past, I did have feelings for Xin Qian, and because of that, I was never stingy with her friends either, often giving them expensive little gifts. Over time, they all turned into greedy, selfish ingrates, and they grew increasingly disrespectful toward me. Thinking of this, I felt disgusted and regretted having been such a sucker for so long. Get lost! Her best friend was startled by my glare and shrank back in fear. Shin's face turned awkward, but she still forced herself to speak. Zhang Yan, what's wrong with you? Going crazy at my friend. Don't think you can threaten me with money. I don't care at all. You'd better do as you say and stop pestering me from now on. Her gaze toward me was firm and full of loathing. Looking utterly fed up, anyone who didn't know better would think I had done something utterly unforgivable to her. Shirao, by standing beside her, seeing her agitated, affectionately patted her back and didn't forget to taunt me with a mocking look. In my past life, Shen kept denying her relationship with Shirao while being hot and cold with me, betting that I would get jealous and feel a sense of crisis. Now I wish they would just lock themselves together and stop coming to ruin my life. All right, Zhang Yan will keep my word. After coldly tossing out that sentence, I turned and left 6 in the afternoon. I contacted Assistant Lee. Starting today, there's no need to transfer money into Shinan's account anymore. The financial support ends here. Assistant Lee's usually calm face was suddenly filled with shock. Without waiting for his response, I continued with the inventory, changed the locks on the villa halfway up the mountain, and forbid her from entering. Also, all businesses under the Zhang family name, big or small, are no longer allowed to let her charge expenses. If she has no money, just kick her out. Oh, and stop covering her mother's medical expenses. 2. Assistant Lee looked at me with increasing approval. Finally, nodding like pounding garlic. Young master, I'll take care of it right away. No matter how much he had advised me to be wary of Shernan before, I never listened to a word, even finding Uncle Lee nagging. Now I desperately want Xin Qian to stay far away from me. Indeed, experience is the best teacher. Once is enough. He was just about to step out when I suddenly called him back. Uncle Lee, wait a moment. Under his hesitant gaze, I opened the drawer of the desk, just as I expected. Inside was an exquisite jewelry necklace. In my previous life, I gave it to Xin Qian as a birthday gift, but she complained that my taste was tacky and reluctantly accepted the necklace in the end. Thinking of this, I straightforwardly handed the necklace to Assistant Lee. This is for you. He was taken aback for a moment and repeatedly declined. If you don't want it, I'll just throw it away. I shook the jewelry box, pretending to toss it into the trash can. Uncle Lee hesitated for a long moment before finally accepting the necklace, his face filled with emotion. Checking the date, it seemed Shenhai's birthday was coming up soon. Her beautiful life had also come to an end. 7. After confirming the cancellation of the funding, I had dinner with my parents and mentioned the matter in passing. Mom was stunned for a moment, seemingly still not quite adjusted to the idea. Ian, you used to talk about her all the time. Are you really sure about this? I nodded solemnly. Someone who repays kindness with ingratitude doesn't deserve the Zhang family support since she always feels I'm humiliating her with money. Let her support herself. Father pondered for a moment before speaking slowly. All right, as long as you've made up your mind. I'll have Xiaoli draft a new list of beneficiaries another day. After reaching an agreement, the atmosphere at the table lightened considerably. In my previous life, Xinqian often complained to me, believing that my parents looked down on students from poor families and secretly drove a wedge between me and them after I went bankrupt. Only my gay-haired parents rushed around for me, helping to cover my losses due to excessive worry. My father had a recurrence of his heart attack, and my mother was also in a constant state of anxiety. In the end, not only did they not wait for a turnaround, but they received the news of their son's death instead. But this time, I will protect my loved ones. As for the debts Xinqian owed before, I will slowly collect them. 8. On the way back, Manager Liu sent a surveillance video from the Western restaurant. This is one of the businesses under my father's name. In the scene, Xinian stood among a group of classmates, speaking to the waiter with an air of arrogance. My name is Xinqian, and I know your manager. Liu. Her classmates around her chimed in, talking over each other. Qian never has to pay when she comes here to spend money. It's basically like her own family's restaurant celebrating a birthday at your own family's restaurant. What's the point of paying exactly? Even your manager, Liu, has to listen to her. Think carefully before you answer. Bai sneered coldly. You don't even know these things. Could it be that you're new here? The waiter's expression wavered a bit, but after thinking it over, they still stuck to the rules. I'm sorry. I am indeed new, but our restaurant really doesn't allow charging to an account. The manager is on a business trip, and before leaving, they didn't mention any exceptions. Shannon frowned, clearly a bit annoyed. This really ruins the mood. Just you wait. I'm definitely going to have you fired today. With that, she snorted coldly and started sending a WeChat message to Manager Liu. After typing, she arrogantly lifted her head and waved her phone screen at everyone. Anyone who didn't know better would think she owned the restaurant. But the moment the message was sent, a red exclamation mark appeared before everyone's eyes. It was glaring and conspicuous. I looked at Uncle Wu, who was focused on driving ahead. It's on the way. Let's stop by my Western restaurant in the city center first. Uncle Wu, who had likely heard the entire video, replied calmly, Yes, young master. As I watched the street scenes receding outside the window, my expression darkened. This birthday is going to be absolutely extraordinary, and one Shen will never forget. 9. As I stepped into the restaurant, the waiter's cold voice just reached my ears. Mississippi, all these bank cards have been frozen. Immediately after, came Xinqian's slightly hysterical cry of shock. How is that possible? I have so many cards here. How could they all be frozen? As soon as she finished speaking, she suddenly remembered the argument from a few days ago and said with certainty, I know. It must be Zhang Yan's doing. He just wants to use this chance to force me back to his side. Ha! Pulling such a cheap trick will only make me more disgusted. The waiter acted as if he hadn't heard, his expression somewhat mocking. With so many of you, can you really not scrape together enough for one meal? Seeing the waiter's increasingly suspicious gaze, Xinian's pride naturally wouldn't allow her to be insulted. She looked at her classmates beside her. Ha! Who cares about using Zhang Yan's money? How much do you all have on you? Let's settle the bill first, and I'll pay you back later. Xiaoi was the first to speak up. Qian, you know, our family doesn't have much money. The other friends in the small group all looked troubled at this moment, and they began to criticize Xinqian in a clamor of voices. Qian, we're all just ordinary students. We never wanted to spend money at such a high-end restaurant in the first place. And we told you not to order so much a long time ago. There's still so much left uneaten. Those bottles of wine were only half finished-ish, and they can't be returned either. Maybe you should find Jiang Yan." Before the words were finished, a classmate glanced toward the door and happened to see me. Young Master Jiang Ten. Shin Qian also turned her gaze, the anxiety on her face vanishing instantly. "Jiang Yan, you finally decided to show up," she snorted coldly, immediately putting on airs. "Deal with your employee properly. You've ruined my good mood. We're in a hurry to get back to school, so we'll let it slide this time." I sneered and raised my voice. "You haven't paid yet. Who said you could leave?" The restaurant patrons turned their gazes toward me. Upon hearing my voice, Shin froze for a moment, then flushed red in the face. "WH, what do you mean?" That delicate, aloof, and haughty face of hers was now filled with embarrassment. I glanced at her and spoke lazily. "Exactly what it sounds like. You've already turned down the Jiang family support. So, did you think you could still take advantage of our family's restaurant?" She pursed her lips, her expression darkening. "I get it now. You deliberately froze my card and even teamed up with Manager Liu. So petty and vindictive. You just want to force me to back down." I frowned impatiently and abruptly cut her off. "Can you cut the nonsense? If you can't pay up, I'm calling the police." Seeing how firm I was, the classmates around us started to get anxious. "Young Master Jiang, it's not like you're short on cash. Do you really have to ruin your relationship with a classmate over this? Besides, you like Shin so much. How could you bear to treat her like this? Yeah, if Shen Qian really gets angry, she'll probably never speak to you again for the rest of her life." Shirao stepped forward with a strong sense of justice. "Classmate Jiang Yan, putting everything else aside, do you really have to pick on a female classmate? Is this what the Jiang family's upbringing is all about?" 11. I glanced at him. "If you have such good upbringing, then why don't you pay for her?" Shirao was instantly left speechless and retreated resentfully. Seeing him put in his place, Shen Qian couldn't help but retort sarcastically. "Classmate Shirao is not like you. A rich second-generation heir who just idles away, waiting to die. Although his family background is ordinary, he has always relied solely on his own abilities. He will definitely surpass you in the future." Watching her stand up for Shirao with a face full of indignation, I suddenly regretted why I hadn't noticed the clues earlier in my past life. Even when jealousy was stirred, I still naively trusted Shernan's explanation, foolishly believing they were just ordinary classmates, a case of top students appreciating each other. "If you can't afford to pay, then there's only one solution." I spoke coldly. She stared at me with utter disdain. "Hoof, you're not thinking of asking me to be your girlfriend again, are you? Let me tell you, it's impossible." I couldn't help but let out a snort of laughter. "Shen, you really think highly of yourself, don't you? Sorry, but someone like you, I wouldn't take you, even if you paid me." As soon as the words left my mouth, the atmosphere fell into an eerie silence. The surrounding classmates all wore expressions of shock. Shinian's face instantly flushed red. She opened her mouth, but couldn't manage to say a word. I glanced at them indifferently, my gaze finally settling on the waiter's face. "They can stay and wash the dishes. I'm leaving first." Didn't Shin Qian keep saying that the Jiang family insulted her efforts with money? Then from now on, work hard and rely on yourself to survive. "Jiang Yan, you stop right there." I ignored Shinian's furious voice behind me and walked out of the restaurant leisurely. 12 early the next morning, my path was blocked at the teaching building. Looking down, I finally saw a dark-skinned, skinny girl standing with her hands on her hips, glaring up at me angrily. "Jiang Yan, you're a grown man. Do you really have to be so petty? Before you completely break Chanian's heart, go apologize to her, and I might consider putting in a good word for you." I took a few steps back and finally recognized belatedly that this was one of Shernan's close friends. Thinking back on it now, she certainly knew how to pick her friends. All of Shin Qian's girlfriends were either particularly heavy or particularly dark-kinned, making her originally just pretty face appear utterly transcendent by comparison. I gave the girl in front of me a cold glance and chose to walk around her. The next moment, Shun's figure suddenly emerged from a corner, Her eyes widened, filled with anger. Zhang Yan, it was you who stopped my mother's medical expenses, wasn't it? I looked down at her with a mocking tone. Isn't this what you wanted? You said the Zhang family used money to humiliate your dignity, and that even without my money, your life would still go smoothly. What? Can TT hold on anymore and already regretting it? Her cheeks instantly flushed red. Who said I regret it? I just think you're too narrow-minded to go far, and I'm reminding you. That's all. And you'd better think it through. If you're really going to be that heartless, you might completely lose me. You know perfectly well how many suitors I have around me. If I end up with someone else, you'd better not regret it. As she said the last line, she lifted her head with arrogance. I sneered coldly. Xinxian, are you out of your mind? I think you're having delusions. All the support I gave you before was charity. Now just looking at you disgusts me. Don't come looking for me for no reason in the future. You really have too much time on your hands. Seeing that I remained unmoved, Sharon stomped her foot in frustration, grabbed her friend, and turned to leave. 13. In the years following the surgery, Shanian's mother had to take anti-rejection medication every month. Previously, the Zhang family had directly covered the costs, allowing Shanian to focus on her studies without any worries. Now, to keep up with the medical expenses, she gritted her teeth and sold many luxury items, no longer frequenting high-end venues. Over time, her friends no longer revolved around her. When I saw Xinxian again, she was dressed plainly, clutching Xiao's sleeve and coquettishly saying, "Didn't you say before that you wanted to start a business? It's precisely because I believed in you that I turned down Zhang Yan's pursuit. Now that I've completely fallen out with him, I'm even afraid I won't be able to pay my mother's medical bills in the future." Xian, I know all that. Shirao frowned slightly, looking somewhat troubled. But starting a business always requires some initial capital. Right. Xinxian pouted in dissatisfaction. But I used to give you money often before. Has all that money been spent already? Xiao's expression changed slightly, and he subtly hid the luxury watch on his wrist. How could that be? My family had some old debts, and I used it all to pay them off. Jian, you know, my family situation isn't great either. That's why I'm studying so hard. Once I've paid off my debts, I'll definitely find a way to help you. As expected, Xiao would only ever make empty promises. Xinxian lowered her head somewhat absent-mindedly. All right, then, I'll think of another way myself. While the two were talking, I turned and walked in another direction. 14. To make ends meet, Xinxian took on several part-time jobs outside of class. Long-term material indulgence had made her look down on everything, and she couldn't hold any part-time job for more than a week, which instead caused her spirits to rapidly decline. During this time, she also saw Shirao by buying a new computer at the mall and suspected he had money but was unwilling to spend it on her. Shirao reacted quickly, making an excuse that he had won tens of thousands in the lottery and even pulled out the last remaining few thousand to give to her, finally managing to brush it off. Not long after the school's cultural evening arrived as scheduled in her previous life, Xinian, dressed in a gorgeous little gown, became famous overnight with a single song at this evening. This time, wearing a cheap shirt, she hesitated backstage, unwilling to go on stage. Shuren, the list was finalized long ago. What do you mean by backing out at the last minute? The class monitor complained discontentedly. This is a spot our class specifically gave up for you. Don't you have any sense of collective honor? During this period, the attitude of those around her had undergone a complete 180 degrees turn. Shin curled her lips impatiently. Got it. I'll go up right away. After speaking, she timidly tugged at her clothes, trying hard to steady her breathing. Shedding the glamorous attire, she reverted to the insecure, impoverished student she once was. Standing on the stage, Shun Chen trembled with nervousness, even frequently forgetting the lyrics. Halfway through the song, whispers gradually arose from the audience, perhaps unable to bear the murmurs. She hurried off stage without even finishing the final verse. The host forced a smile to smooth things over for her, finally managing to redirect everyone's attention. The girl who performed after Xin Qian played a piano piece. She wore a light blue dress and sat gracefully and serenely on the piano bench. As the first note fell, the entire audience held its breath, 15. She focused intently, lowering her gaze as her 10 fingers danced across the keys, the melody pouring from her fingertips when the piece ended. Thunderous applause erupted throughout the auditorium. The girl bowed and, under the gaze of the entire audience, calmly left the stage, holding the hem of her dress. As she passed by me, she stopped and softly said, "Thank you for finding such a wonderful piano for me." Zhu Lin's dimples sank deeply, sweet and exquisite. "You're welcome." I raised an eyebrow. She is the new beneficiary of the Zhang family sponsorship. During middle school, Zuin's parents died in a car accident and her family fell into decline. In my previous life, I didn't pay much attention to her, only knowing that Xin Qian loved to pick on her, always with various excuses. Thinking about it now, it was probably out of jealousy. "Zhang Yan, are you doing this on purpose?" Sharon suddenly blocked the way, gritting her teeth. "You know I hate her, yet you sponsor her and help arrange the piano for her." I turned my gaze away with disdain. "How I spend my money is none of your business." Shin sneered coldly. "How is it none of my business? You're sponsoring her just to make me regret it. Aren't you standing before me?" She had delicate features, but her eyes were filled with bitterness and sarcasm. It was my years of indulgence that gave her such an arrogant sense of entitlement. "Don't take it to heart. She's having another episode." I glanced at Zhu Lin beside me. "Let's go." She nodded silently, looking obedient. Xinian was so choked with anger that she could do nothing but squeeze out a resentful sentence. "Zhang Yan, you cannot withdraw the funding. You didn't know how to cherish it when I was completely obedient to you. So don't expect me to look back in the future." 16. At the cultural performance, a video of Zhu Lin's piano performance swept through the entire school forum, recalling her past life, because the keys of the school piano were faulty. Her piece was played in a fragmented and messy manner. After that, she never had the chance to touch the piano keys again, and was thus lost in the crowd. I originally only knew that Juin had learned piano, but I didn't expect her foundation to be this solid, thanks to the widespread reach of the internet. That performance video spread far and wide not long after. A renowned piano master famous both at home and abroad contacted Juin, wanting to take her on as a student when she received this news. She was at the Zhang family's house giving my mother a massage. Seeing the slight hesitation on Zhu Lin's face, my mother spoke earnestly. "Artistic talent is not something everyone possesses. You must cherish it. Besides, Master Ling has high standards. Since he recognizes your talent so much, you should accept. Seize the opportunity first. You can figure out the path ahead step by step." Zhu Lin nodded thoughtfully. As far as I know, in her previous life, although she studied diligently, she ended up just finding a job step by step. But if she could become a disciple of Master Ling, her future would be immeasurable. 17. Since my rebirth, I have been visiting the company frequently with the experience from my previous life. I can already help my father with some core projects. One day on the way to the company, the car hadn't gone far when a figure suddenly appeared in the middle of the road. The screeching of the brakes was sharp and piercing, emitting a long, drawn-out sound with lingering fear. I glanced out the window and couldn't help but curse. "Holy, who's got such a death wish?" The car window rolled down, revealing Xin Qian with red-rimmed eyes. "Zhang Yan, give me a moment to finish what I have to say." Seeing that face, I started feeling inexplicably irritated. "Sharon, when I said you were sick, I meant you're really sick." She bit her lower lip tightly, looking both stubborn and pitiful. Before I failed to see people clearly, I was swayed by Shirao Bai, so I always held a bias against you and didn't appreciate the Zhang family's help. But I've already been punished for it now. I'm completely awake to the truth. "Zhang Yan, please give me another chance. I heard she's been working part-time while studying recently and has already missed many classes. If this continues, she'll really face expulsion again. And the person she trusts the most, Shirao Bai, can offer nothing but sweet talk, providing no real help." I said calmly, "I don't have that much sympathy, nor am I interested in giving you a chance." Shannon seemed to make up her mind and stepped in front of the car. "In that case, you might as well just run me over. I've been having fragmented dreams lately. In them, I was deceived and ended up causing your death. I might as well repay you with my life right now. Anyway, my life is already like this." She tilted her head up, wearing an indifferent expression. But I was shaken to the core. I never expected Shin Chien to remember things from her past life. I tried hard to suppress my surprise, let out a cold laugh, and picked up my phone. If you don't move aside, I won't mind calling the police and having you spend a few days in detention. Seeing that I was about to dial, she had no choice but to hastily step aside. In the rear-view mirror, Shinian remained standing in place, her figure growing increasingly distant. 18. Not long after, during the final exams, Shinian was advised to withdraw from school due to failing too many subjects. To make money, she simply dropped out of school. Shirin began working day and night, taking care of her mother in the hospital at night, and was soon worn down by life. Looking shallow and thin, Xiaoi went to see her once, probably out of pity, wanting to help her out. But after arriving at the restaurant where she worked, he was also startled by Shinian's drastic change. He quietly averted his gaze, wanting to pretend he didn't know her. Shen, seeing Xiaobai, after a long absence, excitedly grabbed his sleeve. "Ai, have you come to take me away?" Xiaobai subtly pushed her hand away. Ahem, I'm just here to eat." Seeing the unfamiliar look on his face, Shin Qian became somewhat agitated. "No, it was you who ruined my life. I could have been with Zhang Yan, but you persuaded me to destroy that life with my own hands. You schemed to take the Zhang family shares, yet you couldn't manage them. You're greedy, selfish, and utterly incompetent." Xiaoi stood up angrily, interrupting her. "What's wrong with you? Take a look at yourself in the mirror. What have you become?" After saying that, he gave her a mocking glance from head to toe. Recently, Shin's mental state had not been good, often unable to distinguish between dreams and reality. Overwhelmed by emotion, she picked up a fork nearby and swiftly stabbed it into Xiao's neck. Blood spurted out. Xiaoi widened his eyes in disbelief, clutching the wound as he slowly collapsed. It wasn't until the fork hit the floor that Shinian snapped out of her daze. 19. Shinian was taken away by the police on the spot for causing death by negligence when she saw the news. My mother couldn't help but sigh with regret. That girl Shiraoshan, she was always a bit vain at most before. How could she do something like this? Hearing this news, I was also somewhat taken aback. Shini is an extremely contradictory person, both insecure and arrogant, coveting vanity, yet claiming moral superiority. But I never expected she could do something so extreme in a daze. My mom suddenly started frantically adjusting the live stream. "Oh, right. I almost forgot the main thing. Lin won an award in the piano competition. She should be giving an interview right now." I smiled helplessly. Ever since we started sponsoring Zuin, her mood has been getting better and better on the huge display screen. Zuin's voice rang out clear and crisp. "Thank you to the judges and mentors. I am grateful for this honor, and I cherish the hardships of this journey. But the one I most want to thank right now is the Zhang family for their financial and spiritual support. They gave me the courage to push open this door, catching me every time I might have fallen. So this honor does not belong to me alone. It belongs to those who lit a lamp for me. Thank you for giving me a real piano in my barren life." The final sentence fell. She bent over, bowing deeply. The spotlight shone on her bent back like a heavy ear of rice. After snagging an 80 million jackpot from the lottery, I bailed on the national online novel contest right away. When Ava the Junior caught wind of it, she didn't hesitate to slap me. "You're bailing out, you're letting the teacher's efforts and your friends down. Don't tell me your work's got flaws. You're scared the judges will spot in my past life." Ava had submitted a piece to the national contest that was spot on with mine. I reached out to my editor, my bro Ethan, and my first love, Liam, hoping they'd vouch for me. Instead, they publicly apologized and begged the judges to give me another shot. But I was just a kid then, and the internet wasn't having it. They branded me as a shameless copier with no way to prove my innocence. I was tagged a Pliss, got kicked out, slapped with huge breach penalties, and my mom fought to clear my name but got cyber-bullied herself. I fell sick overnight, each blow pushing me deeper into despair, not wanting to drag my family down. I jumped off the rooftop in hopelessness. But shockingly, I woke up a week before the contest. "Mia, I whipped up your fave braised ribs. How about eating before you write? You haven't had a bite all day." Ethan signaled with concern using sign language. I nearly toppled off my chair in disbelief. Then Liam walked in with a box, looking worried. Heard your shoulders acting up. This massager should chill you out. This scene was all too familiar in my last life. I thought I was on top of the world, my big bro. Ethan always had my back, and Liam, though not family, felt like one, but rebirth turned my heart icy. In the last contest, my work mirrored Ava's. Exactly, the judges caught on quick. As an award-winning author, I had a solid shot at winning, but the scandal dragged me into a maelstrom of public backlash. I turned to Ethan and Liam for backup, only to have them both shut me down. Ethan even apologized without asking me, pleading with the host for a second chance because of my age. The internet blew up in such a massive contest, accusing someone of cheating meant you had to have an editor, bro, covering up the whole family's messed up apologies. Don't fix. Police wouldn't even care if they did. We're too young. They're already 18, right? Act like a kid at home. Don't drag us down here under the heat. The contest organizers denied Ethan's plea. Honestly, I entered for the $300K prize. Ethan had hurt his throat and couldn't speak. I needed the cash for his vocal cord surgery, but instead of winning, I got slapped with a hefty penalty. Meanwhile, Ava, with zero writing chops, unexpectedly took first place. Her story was praised as the year's top short story and even got a movie deal. She blew up overnight as a stunning author, while I became the hated plagiarist, expelled due to the scandal. Without a degree, I was stuck delivering takeouts to cover the fines. Customers recognized me and left bad reviews on purpose, wrecking my hard work. Mom got sick trying to help me, ending up in the hospital because of cyberbullying. To pay the bills, I hauled cement at a construction site but got fired after a few days, losing all my wages. Then the hospital called. Mom wasn't doing great and suggested I brace myself. That was my breaking point. I lost all hope. One night I climbed and jumped off the hospital rooftop, but once more I woke up a week before the contest. Seeing Ethan and Liam looking after me made me conflicted. Mia, here's some exclusive writing material. Use this and you'll ace first place. Ethan signed, placing the file before me. Liam teased from the side. Mia, you better win first. I'm waiting for you to grab those limited edition kicks. I knew he was messing around, but I couldn't laugh. Ethan, my brother, wouldn't betray me. Liam, my first love, was tough, but always had my back. So where did things go sideways? Back in elementary school, I won the kids' writing contest. In college, my novels were regularly featured in magazines. My mentor Clara said winning was a breeze for me. So when the scandal hit, Clara stood by me, plus my serialized novels had been selling well already. I didn't need to copy Ava at that moment. Ava dropped a screenshot of our submission times. She uploaded hers an hour before mine, and a week earlier shared her ideas and outline on social media. Instantly, the internet's insults nearly drowned me. Mia definitely copied Ava. The proofs clear, they argued, still trying to defend her. Heard Mia had books out before those. Must have been copied too. Just went unnoticed. Her bro and first love have morals. If they'd covered for her, the creator would have been crushed. The buzz got so loud it hit trending news. The contest hosts seriously reviewed Ava's evidence. After checking, they confirmed everything was legit with no tampering. They concluded I copied Ava. I was floored. My work was crafted using Ethan's material. How was that plagiarism? But I had no proof. I couldn't get why Ava's work matched mine. Did Ethan give it to Ava too? But Ethan and Liam seemed straight. I had to dig into Ava's social media, checking the dates. She should have shared her ideas and outline by now. With Ethan and Liam always around, I quickly outlined a novel, pretending to think on my feet. Then I faked a stomach ache to hit the restroom. A flicker of annoyance crossed Liam's eyes. You're being such a hassle. Ethan already gave you all the inspo and material, and you still want to slack off. Ethan quickly gestured in sign language to ease the vibe. There's still a week before the contest, so don't stress. Mia, plenty of time. Follow my prep tips, and you'll totally win first place. But time was running out. To uncover the truth, after ducking into the bathroom, I locked the door and opened A's social media account. I heard her dad was a big shot at a state-owned firm, and her mom a university professor, probably because she's pretty. She had tons of fans, but I barely knew her. However, Ethan's job meant he interacted with Ava's mom, so they must know each other. I once saw him and Liam chatting, saying Ava was charming and not like me, who looked like a tomboy. He even told Liam that for a wife, he should pick someone like Ava, beautiful and from a good family, to dodge 10 years of struggling. I thought he was joking, but now looking back, he seemed serious. Still, I couldn't figure why someone like Ava, who had it all, would try to mess with me. Just then I stumbled upon a new post she made. In it, she shared writing inspo and a novel outline. I froze at the sight. Isn't this the inspo and material Ethan just gave me? Even her novel outline matches the one I casually wrote earlier. The comment section was packed with praise from web users. This is the first time I've seen such a unique novel structure. The online lit world is finally saved exactly. Hurry up and WR. I feel you're definitely taking first place. Having the same inspo could be a coincidence, but why is her novel outline identical to mine? Only Ethan and Liam have been in my study. Could it really be one of them? Thinking about it gave me chills, but why would they do something like this? Does family loyalty and our childhood bond mean less to them than a quick hookup up with Ava? I spent an hour in the bathroom and made a bold move in my last life. My contest piece was my specialty of fantasy genre. Although I won first place, it wasn't exactly groundbreaking. This time I decided to write a mystery thriller. If they accused me of plagiarism before, I just rewrite it. No matter the outcome, at least I could shake off the plagiarism tag. Switching my contest genre kept me tossing and turning. Early the next morning, I quietly slipped out and headed to Clara's place. Clara was my mentor and the first person to push me to write. She had high hopes for me in this contest. Seeing me, she immediately smiled and handed me a steaming meat bun. Mia, you haven't had breakfast yet, right? When she noticed something was up, she quickly asked, something bothering you? You can spill. I forced a smile. Clara, if I don't win first place this time, will you be disappointed? Clara gently patted my head. It's cool if you don't win first. I know how talented you are. There's always next time. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. Hearing those words, I felt a surge of determination. After leaving Clara's, I got a message from Ethan. Mia, where did you vanish to? Liam brought you breakfast but couldn't find you, and he's getting pissed. I replied, just out getting writing materials. I'll be back soon. I wasn't planning on using the inspo and materials Ethan gave me. I hadn't told them about changing my contest piece either. After all, they were my main suspects. I decided to hit up the school library and rethink my contest work. I stayed there till nightfall and finally finished the novel outline. Stretching out, I planned to take a break and check if Ava had any new updates. Unexpectedly, Ethan and Liam showed up. I was puzzled how they knew I was there soon enough. Ethan placed a steaming lunchbox on the table and gestured, afraid you'd be too zoned in on writing to eat, so I brought you some grub. Liam handed me a thermos. Here's some chicken soup I made this afternoon to refresh you. With such sincerity on their faces, it was hard to imagine them doing anything shady to me. Had I been overthinking things? If not them, then who? With my mind in chaos, I forced a smile. You came just in time. I'm starving. I'll just wash my hands and then dig in. I grabbed my phone and headed to the bathroom. Instead of going in, I paused by the sink and checked Ava's account again. Sure enough, she had posted something new. How can people be so shameless? I shared my inspo and outline out of goodwill, yet someone grabbed it without asking. How is that different from stealing? I have no choice but to start over. The post included a pic of a girl's back studying in the library. People who knew could instantly recognize it was me, but who took the photo? In the comments, fans wondered if she'd have enough time to rewrite it. Ava replied, I'm writing a mystery thriller this time and I've already outlined it. My heart raced. I hadn't told anyone about switching genres. How are our themes still overlapping? She must have a spy around me. Is it Ethan or Liam? Why would they do this? What would they gain? Suddenly someone tapped my shoulder. Mia, what are you daydreaming about? I jumped, realizing it was Ethan and Liam checking on me in the bathroom. Apparently they were worried since I hadn't come back. Startled and a bit wary, I said, hey, why don't you two head back? I'll eat in a bit. I wasn't sure if they caught me scrolling through AA's posts. Just as I finished speaking, Liam snapped back, Mia, Ethan and I brought you food out of kindness. And this is your attitude? Don't think I don't see you've been shady with us lately. Truly ungrateful. Ethan quickly held him back, gesturing Liam's all bark. And no, bite, don't let it get to you. We were just worried since you're out so late. I quickly responded, the school's got cameras everywhere. It's safe. Seriously, I can stay in the dorms these days to ease your worries. Liam scoffed, do whatever, then I'm done catering to you. With that, he dragged Ethan out of the study room. Finally, I let out a breath. Around 10:30 p.m. I packed up and headed back to my dorm. No sooner had I walked in than I heard my roommate Lily talking about Ava. Leaning in to check, I realized it was Ava's latest Twitter post. It featured a pic of 3 hands holding up Coke cans and a toast caption, when the sky falls, I've got my brothers to carry me through. I immediately recognized those hands as Ethan's and Liam's. When do they get so tight? Just then 2 comments popped up below the photo. Ava will always be the princess in my heart, don't worry. Ava, your brother's got your back. You'll surely take first place. I blinked, thinking I saw something off, but after refreshing, the comment was gone. Looks like the plagiarism scandal does involve those 2. I wasn't surprised to reach that conclusion. Thankfully, I'd been staying in the dorm recently, so even if they wanted to mess with me, they couldn't. I could finally focus on my creativity, but who would have thought that as soon as I lay down that night, I'd catch my roommate Lai sneaking a peek at my notebook. I instantly woke up and shouted angrily, Lily, what are you doing? Lily was startled, trembling, and ended up dropping my notebook on the ground. She snapped back, "What are you yelling about? Don't think I don't know the one who copied my cousin Ava. Is you great living with someone who steals ideas? Is bad enough. Now you're shouting so rude. Turns out Lily is Ava's cousin." She deliberately posted my personal info in the comments of Ava's post. My DMs exploded with nasty insults. Some people even showed up to pour dirty water on my bed and put dead cockroaches in my water cup. Helpless, I reached out to Clara in my past life. She did everything she could to help clear my name, though she failed. She's the only person I trust now. When Clara heard about my situation, she immediately handed me the keys to a small apartment. She told me to focus on the contest and deal with everything else after it's over. Finally, before the contest ended, I finished my novel. Now I just needed to submit the document, but just then Ava's social media account updated my contest piece has been submitted. Thanks for all the support lately. The attached image was a screenshot of a document. Even though it was censored, I recognized the first few lines. They were identical to the novel I just finished writing. The post timestamp was even 10 minutes earlier than my completion time. I was devastated and smashed my laptop in frustration. Have I really been reincarnated only to fall into the same fate? Suddenly I felt like giving up. Just then a message popped up on my phone. The lottery ticket I bought a few days ago won 80 million. I nearly jumped up with excitement. With my family's financial struggles, I paid for college using royalties and student loans. I wouldn't have entered this contest for the $300,000 prize if not for those circumstances. Now that I have the money, I don't need to stress about the contest results anymore. An idea formed in my mind, a way to make Ava, the shameless serial plagiarist, pay up. I didn't tell anyone about winning the lottery. Instead, I reworked my contest piece and submitted it. If Ava loves copying so much, let her copy to her heart's content. As soon as the contest was over, Ava eagerly started a live stream sharing her contest experience. The chat was buzzing with comments. "Ava, you're so confident you'll surely make it to the top 3 this time, right?" Ava hadn't even said a word when Liam replied in the chat, "Top 3? Ava will definitely be first. I've got full confidence in her." The chat exploded, everyone congratulating Ava, but before she could soak in her triumph, her face suddenly changed. Viewers were confused when a few cops appeared on screen, swiftly handcuffing Ava. "We've received a report of illegal activities. Please come with us." Even through the screen, you could feel the authority in their voice. Ava's face turned pale, her demeanor panicked. More viewers tuned into the stream. Unexpectedly, the chat was lit with questions. What's going on? Isn't she supposed to be a well-off, beautiful writer? How could she end up in this mess? Yet Ava's so innocent. She's still in college. Could there be a mistake? People thought it was an act of jealousy, trying to frame Ava on purpose. I knew why Ava was so frantic. She had a guilty conscience after realizing I won the 80 million lottery. I immediately disguised myself to claim the prize. Seeing those numbers in my account made me chill out big time. The fear of financial insecurity vanished, and my smarts seemed to have kicked in. Since Ava loved stealing my novels, I'd fight fire with fire, make her admit to plagiarism and her dirty deeds. I enter the contest with my suspense mystery novel and intentionally let Ava get a copy, but she didn't know I had changed the final twist in the story. Anyone with half a brain could figure out the ending. The conclusion would be Ava's self-revelation, but I wasn't worried Ava would catch on. She had no brains after all. I wanted her to confess her shady acts in this national contest. I wanted Ethan and Liam to see the true face of their so-called perfect goddess facing arrest. Ava suddenly shouted at the live audience, "I'm being framed. The real person behind this is my senior Mia." She plagiarized my entry and pinned it on me. Her fans echoed her sentiments, and even Liam chimed in, "Ava's dad is a company exec, mom's a college professor. How could she do such dirty things? This must be Mia's doing out of jealousy. Police, you can't just believe her." I wasn't surprised. Liam said that in my past life, he did the same thing. Edley Ethan entered the stream right then, furiously typing comments. "It's a setup. Ava could never do such things. I'll stake my reputation and career on it. If you don't believe me, I'll go find Mia and confront her live." Liam backed Ethan up. "I'll come with you." Ethan reading their comments, I found it amusing. I was staying at Clara's apartment. They didn't know where to find me for a confrontation, but then less than 10 minutes later, someone kicked in the apartment door. Ethan rushed in, grabbing my collar and shouting, "Mia, is it you? You jealous of me and Ava? So you plotted this revenge?" Liam smacked me across the face. "Ethan, you don't have to ask. It's definitely her. She's been sneaky since a week before the contest, probably spying on the material. An outline Ava shared online. She didn't say a word, and now she's accusing Ava So shameless they questioned me while live streaming it all. I looked at them coldly, feeling like I was meeting them for the first time in my past life. I foolishly thought of using the prize money to pay for Ethan's vocal cord surgery. Turns out, he can actually speak. He only pretended to be mute to trick me into this contest. I slapped him across the face and said, "Coldly, Ethan, so you can talk? How must have been tough. Keeping quiet for so long just to reel me in." Ethan's face twisted, unable to respond. Then I turned to Liam and asked, "You my entry plagiarized Ava's work. Got any proof? Making false accusations can land you in legal trouble." Liam lifted his chin confidently. "I didn't make it up. Your entry is just a copy of Ava's work. Instead of apologizing, you're fighting and even smearing Ava. How thick-skinned can you be?" I sneered. "Are you sure I copied Ava? If not, you'll have to kneel and apologize." Liam scoffed. "I'm sure you did your submitted work. Is the proof it's identical to Ava?" I chuckled. "Oh, really? What did I submit? And how would you know? Are you a judge in the contest? Or have you been snooping on me?" Liam's face went pale. He stammered, realizing he slipped up, but stuck to his claim that I copied Ava. Seeing his stubbornness, I called the contest organizers live in front of thousands. They confirmed that I hadn't even entered, making plagiarism impossible. Liam was stunned. "No way, you definitely submitted something." "Mia, what trick did you pull?" I looked at him, doubting if his past kindness was real. I'd suspected that Ethan and Liam might be watching me somehow, but I didn't know for sure, so at the last minute I unplugged the internet. While submitting my work wasn't actually submitted, but they thought it was. This was my plan all along, to lure them in without letting them know. If I just backed out, they might come up with other ways to trap me after. The organizers exposed the truth. Ethan and Liam turned white as sheets. Then I showed how Ava had actually plagiarized my mystery novel, even revealing the twist. Ava admitted to her plagiarism and other shady stuff. The reveal sent the live stream into a frenzy, the chat filled with comments. Who knew a sweet-looking writer like Ava could do such things? Isn't her mom a prop? How could a prof raise someone like that? Exactly, she copied someone else's work and then played the victim, claiming others were guilty. Her male accomplice is no better, helping against his own sister. Is that even brotherly? I'd seen gossip about this plagiarism before. This Ava girl who pretends to know so much, yet nothing she does is genuine. She even got her cousin to harass others online. Shameless, someone like her spreading lies and invading privacy should face the law. Ethan was in disbelief. "Mia, why didn't you tell me you weren't participating? Watching me run around for you, were you enjoying it?" Liam chimed in with exaggeration. "Honestly, Mia, you're so wicked. I even made you chicken soup thinking you were stressed from the contest. I must have been blind." I laughed coldly. "Ethan, don't try to morally blackmail me. You hid that you could speak. Not so noble of you either. Whether I enter the contest is my business. So why should I tell you and your so-called kid bringing me food? Was it for me or Ava? You know the truth. Your concern was just a front to monitor me, to benefit Ava." Caught out. Ethan was angry. "Even so, falsely accusing Ava of that stuff is harsh. A girl's reputation is important. Aren't you afraid I'll sue you for slander?" Ava, who was watching Ethan's live stream, was crying dramatically. "Ethan, I'm being framed. It's Mia lying about me. You have to help me get justice." Then Ava begged the police officers, "You can't just believe Mia. You need evidence. She's the one slandering me. You should arrest her." The officer frowned, speaking sternly, "Young lady, watch what you say. We're here because there is evidence we held back to spare you some dignity. But if that's not what you want, so be it." Ava's face drained of color. After reliving all of this again, I remembered how spiteful Ava was, but with dirt on her I saw she was both mean and stupid. She wore her dirty deeds like a badge of honor. She thought society laughed at the poor but tolerated scandalous behavior. She was shameless and didn't hide. Her admirers saw her as a true rich beauty and questioned nothing. So when I started investigating, it was a breeze. Once I had all the evidence, I handed it to the police. Without those pieces, there was no way they would have come. Anyone could figure that out, but Ava couldn't. She practically begged in front of thousands to get caught. She brought this on herself, and I wouldn't stop at seeing her secrets aired live. Left her pale and twitching, unable to stand it. She begged the police to end the stream and take her away. Watching Ava get dragged off Ethan's live stream was satisfying. In my past life, she made me the scapegoat. This time I turned the tables. As Ava's stream shut off, the drama-hungry audience flocked to Ethan's stream. Seeing me, they showered me with compliments. "Aren't you the award-winning writer who's published books so humble?" Wow, writers are really smart. They cleverly get those who slander them to reveal themselves so clean and slick. Consider me a fan now. But Mia, is that guy who was standing up for Ava really your brother? Why would he side with another girl? Is he even your real brother? Seriously, who needs a brother like that? Not just him, but even his first love was helping Ava attack her. Just her luck to be surrounded by such losers. Ethan and Liam were super frantic when they saw Ava getting taken away, but they didn't want to lose that online traffic. When people started targeting them, they finally shut the stream with scowls on their faces. Then they shot me a dirty look and ran off to the police station to check on Ava. A bunch of people online quickly changed their minds and became fans. It reminded me of my last life when I got cyberbullied after Ava accused me of plagiarism. Back then my name blew up, but it was the bad kind of fame with online torment. This time it's genuine fame and praise. Funny enough, I'm not even happy about it. People online are so fickle. They don't care about the real story. They just follow the crowd. This fame destroyed me last time, but helped me get revenge in this life. Their comments reminded me of something though. Liam wants to suck up to Ava and skip a decade of hard work, but Ethan, why does he want to hurt me too? Is he not actually my brother? With that thought, I went home, swiped some of Ethan's hair before he got back, and got a DNA test. This whole situation was spiraling into a mess, but even after Ava was caught, I couldn't figure out how she stole my work. At first I thought Ethan and Liam might have set up cameras at my place, or maybe they installed spyware on my laptop, but I moved in with Clara and got the computer checked. Nothing was wrong. I was really stressed. Conveniently, CL's dad, Matt, is a retired cop. I told him everything. He furrowed his brows, thinking, then finally zeroed in on my glasses. Matt asked if he could take a look. I didn't hesitate and handed them over. He peered through a magnifying glass, then suddenly had an aha moment. Turns out I was right. I was confused, not getting what he meant. He handed me the magnifying glass and told me to inspect the screws at the front of my glasses. Right in the middle of one screw, there was a tiny pinhole. Camera, if you didn't look closely, you wouldn't notice it. I was stunned. Suddenly, I remembered that about a month ago when I was signing up for the contest, Ethan accidentally broke my glasses. While apologizing, he gave me a new frame. I thought the new glasses looked great and didn't get mad. Little did I know he had tampered with them. No wonder he could always find me. Clara's dad told me this kind of camera is super advanced and rare. Anyone using it must report it to the authorities. He suspected Ethan might have been involved in something shady that could harm national interests. I got chills thinking about it. I remembered Ethan studied programming, but later became a publishing editor, interacting with top university professors. Could there be a larger scheme here? I removed the spy camera and handed it to Matt to report. Plus, with this camera, Ava's plagiarism was now backed by solid evidence. In the past accused of plagiarism, I paid massive penalties for breaching contest rules. This time I wouldn't let Ava off the hook. I wanted to see how she'd wiggle out when the truth came out. I also wouldn't spare Ethan and Liam, who were a compli. I wrote a report questioning Ethan's real identity and sent it to the government. Ethan loved keeping secrets. Let's see how he feels when his secret identity is exposed, leaving him ruined. After getting that done, I moved out immediately. I went to stay in a small villa I secured earlier with lottery winnings. Having $80 million gave me the confidence to do whatever I wanted. Mainly, I wanted to avoid confronting scum like Ethan and Liam, who was a profit-driven first love. I blocked both of their contacts, then signed up for a nationwide tour package to chill. It was summer break, so school was out, and last life struggles had me tense. I needed a vacation. After adventuring for a month, I headed back to my villa with loads of souvenirs. Just as I was about to drop some off with Clara right outside my complex, I ran into Ethan. If it wasn't for knowing him for over a decade, I almost wouldn't have recognized him. He looked way skinnier and wrecked. His beard was wild, and his eyes were bloodshot. Before I could call for help, he dragged me into a van park nearby. He gripped my shoulders, demanding, "Mia, why'd you move out? Do you realize how worried I've been?" I rolled my eyes exasperatedly, replying, "Worried? You couldn't find me would be more fitting. Worried? So you have no one to defend her?" Ethan paused and then softened his tone. I know I've kept things from you, and it made you mad, but I'm truly worried since I am your brother. Don't think of me like that, please. I sigh. Okay, if you're satisfied seeing I'm fine, you can let me go now, right? I tried to open the door, but he held me back. Seeing him hesitate, I lost my patience. Spit it out if you got something to say. I've got things to do, no time to waste. Ethan sighed, cautiously asking Mia, "Can you help us? She's the daughter of an important client of mine now. It's all a mess. Her reputation's shattered. She almost killed herself. Couldn't you help her for your brother's sake?" I shot back, not amused. "I barely know her. How should I help?" Ethan's eyes lit up. "Just say that the article Ava submitted was yours, and you accidentally posted it under her account, trying to play a prank. That way Ava gets a free pass." I snorted. "Ethan, you sure about this? If I do this, I'd be charged for false reporting. False reports mean jail time. Is that what you want from me?" Ethan got mad. 2 Mia, don't think I don't know you won an 80 million lottery with that kind of money. Can't you help Ava out? You could join this contest for your brother. So why can't you just help Ava for his sake? I stared at him, smiling. You say to do it for my brother, but are you really my biological brother? As soon as I said that, Ethan's face suddenly changed, and his eyes darted away. Mia, what nonsense are you talking about? I don't get it. When the paternity test results came out, I wasn't all that shocked. It felt like I already knew Ethan wasn't my real brother. Would a real brother put his sister in jeopardy for someone else? Once the results were in, I rushed to investigate my background. I didn't expect it to dredge up an old story. Turns out Ava is Ethan's real sister. I'm the one who's actually the rich family's daughter back. Then my mom, and Ethan's mom were in the same hospital giving birth. Ethan's family was poor, but my mom's family was well off. Ethan, being the sister protector, he has swapped me with Ava so his sister could have a better life. That's how Ava and I switched lives. But genes are powerful things. Because I inherited my mom's intelligence and my dad's emotional smarts, I always did well in school. Relatives would say I didn't seem like a kid from their family. I thought it was just a joke, never imagining it was true. Seeing that I'd figured out the truth, Ethan suddenly looked menacing, reaching for a utility knife nearby. I scoffed. Ethan, are you thinking of silencing me? Is Ava, that ungrateful wolf, really worth it then? I played the recording I secretly had someone place on Ava. That Ethan is so annoying. A mute. Did he really think calling him brother makes him my brother? Dramon. And that Liam, he's just like Ethan, a sycophant. Ethan disgusts me. Does he have creepy thoughts toward me? Can't he see his age? If it weren't for him helping me when first in the contest, why would I even bother with him? These boundless men, they disgust me. Penniless and trying to act all important. Do they even know their place? How dare they? Hearing the recording, Ethan shoved me aside and drove off in his van. I figured he was heading to confront Ava. The next news I got was of Ethan's death. After hearing the recording, Ethan, holding on to a sliver of hope, went to find Ava. He told her about her background, hoping to reunite, but Ava flat out refused to accept it. In a fit of emotion, Ava pushed Ethan off the rooftop. Ethan fell, and luck had it landed on Liam below. Both of them died instantly. Ava was sentenced to life in prison. The news shocked me, but I never thought of reconnecting with my biological parents. If things went wrong, let them stay that way. I just wanted to take the millions in my account and live my life peacefully, maybe occasionally do what I love without getting tangled in the so-called family ties.